Hello, 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 hello. Very good morning, everyone. Okay. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ? So welcome to Bangalore, everyone. ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಆಯಿತು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ ಬಂದು? 1 week? 4 days. Okay. So I will start with a question, very basic question. What do you think UPSC is expecting from you when you want to prepare for Civil Services Examination, when you want to become IAS, IPS officer? What is that UPSC is expecting from you? You can give any answer based on your current understanding, anything that comes to your mind. Good knowledge, very good. Strong decision making ability. Dedication, okay. Consistency, good. Discipline. Corruption friendly. Anti-corruption friendly. Yeah. You meant to say anti-corruption. Yes. Then honest service. Okay. My question is what it is expecting from you. You, a candidate who is preparing for Civil Services Examination, is going to be tested by the UPSC. Right? It is UPSC, the apex body, which is going to conduct examination in 3 different stages. In all the 3 stages, you who is at the bottom currently is going to traverse through all these 3 stages. You know, you will reach UPSC Dholpur Bhavan in Delhi, and then you are going to give a oral interview in front of 5 people, right? So it's a long journey, it's a process. So in this entire process, who you are currently aspiring to become IAS officer or IPS or Indian Foreign Service, there is a clear-cut expectation at the top that somebody who is preparing for the examination needs to be selected based on certain core demands, expectations, so that you are suitable for all these services, IAS, it has its own different demand. IPS, it has its own different demand. Indian Foreign Service, it has its own different demand. So all of you are sitting, either majority are dreaming about IAS, right? Some of you IPS and some of you Indian Foreign Service. So this is reality that you are about to enter a serious structured preparation to prepare to crack the UPSC examination. So now before you start, you should have perfect clarity about what is that you are entering into, what is that you are supposed to do, so that in this process from today onwards, step by step, you will go on to meet all the demands of the UPSC, right? 360 degree. Some of you might come with some of them already, but as far as I understand, most of you are at zero level currently. So you will go on acquiring the qualities, the values, the traits that are required to meet this UPSC expectation step by step, one by one. Not, it is impossible to acquire all of them at once, right? You have to go through lots of things so that you acquire those qualities. The moment, when that moment comes, when you go to UPSC interview, everything is in full display. You are getting the point. So it's a process. For some it takes 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6, 7 years. It entirely depends on whom? You, right? So you are under control. It is totally your choice. You are under control. What you need is a constant guidance, a support system, so that you understand the examination, you understand the demand, and then you make a steady progress, right? Okay, so you talked about consistency, honesty, dedication, hard work, non-corruption attitude. What else? Knowledge, lots of knowledge. That was the first answer. What else it is demanding from you? Clarity of concepts. Very good. Who said it? Good. Very good. Leadership. Who said it? Good. Very good. Leadership. Personality development. So that is the, what are the qualities of that personality? Awareness of what? Awareness about everything. Courage. Okay. Anything else? None of you are wrong. Okay. Everyone, whatever you are saying, everything is related. But there are specific clear cut core demands. They are very specific. There is no vagueness about it. There is no confusion about it. The demand is very, very specific. Once you understand it, right? Now the journey is to chase it, acquire it. And then the one who acquires it fast becomes, it is kind of becoming, the journey is becoming. You are no one, you go on to become that someone who is desirable. What else? Because I want to hear some specific word, that is why. To make the society better, empathetic towards society. Good. Who said it? What's your name? Reshma. Reshma says critical thinking. Excellent. Then? Decision making. So, I think somebody said it here, right? Decision making ability. Good. Future decision making. Okay. Welfare oriented. So, what was your name? Huh? Lohit. So, what Lohit said? Samajika kadakadi anta. Right. So, yes. Who said it? Very good. So, he said analysis, but can you put it very clearly? Analytical ability, right? Analytical ability and critical thinking, right? These two are extremely important. What else? Strategizing, planning, ability to strategize, plan. Good. That is also a desirable quality. Ready for public service. Having public service mindset. Good. Understanding the problems. The word understanding is important, of course. Understanding the problems, very good. Social awareness, very good. Patience, the most important quality. UPSC may not expect, but you should have it. Patience. Then, how you handle situation under pressure or extreme pressure. Very good. Neutrality and what kind of nationalistic mindset? Because we have various nationalistic mindset, right? There is something called cultural nationalism. That is what, that's very good quality. So there is a difference between patriotism and nationalism. Am I right? So who will differentiate? What is the difference between patriotism and nationalism? What is the difference? He said nationalistic attitude and being neutral. Neutrality, he said. Can you be nationalistic and neutral? Then what nationalism, right? That's no, that's one of the cardinal value. We said cardinal values of civil services. Neutrality, right? One of the cardinal values. It is said as cardinal values. And another value, if somebody asks whether in the interview or anywhere, which two cardinal values that a civil servant should have, one is neutrality. Second one is anonymity. Right, anonymity is the cardinal value, but most of the people don't practice. They want what? Credit for things they have done. Things they have done should never be claimed. The credit should never be claimed because it is their duty. It's part of the public service. You are bound to do it. So there is no credit. So okay. There is something called civic nationalism, right? Civic nationalism is the desirable nationalism that everyone in India should develop, believe in, and practice. So, what is the definition of civic nationalism? Because cultural nationalism will say, my religion is supreme, right? My caste is supreme. It is identity based. But civic nationalism is purely constitution based, right? So, civic nationalism is that nationalism which is guided, dictated by the constitution. So, you believe in strong constitutional values. You believe in the power of constitution to build a strong nation, right? That is called a civic nationalism. So, a civil servant must have strong civic nationalism. Good. What are the other qualities? Okay. So, now we will start orientation. So, you were able to roughly say many of the qualities that are expected. So, the reason I am starting with this discussion today is the UPSC examination is going tremendous transformation in terms of how the papers are set, in terms of how the examination is becoming more taxing. More taxing means more difficult. The meaning of taxing means it expects more out of you, more from you, right? It makes you work even more hard, right? It is becoming more taxing, more difficult. So, without understanding why this examination is becoming more difficult, right? Everyone who is sitting here who wants to become civil servant, you will become directionless, right? You will lose the steam. You will become directionless. That should not happen, right? So now, why the examination is becoming difficult? The core demand of the examination has remained same. It hasn't changed. It was there before, let's say 10 years ago. The current scheme of examination which you are seeing now was changed in 2013, right? In 2013, UPSC brought reforms and it changed the entire mains examination. In 2011, they introduced CSAT paper. In 2011, before 2011, if you were giving prelims in 2010, so there were two papers. One was optional paper in prelims. So there was optional paper in prelims, right? You could choose geography optional in prelims, or maybe sociology, political science, and then choose two more optionals in the mains stage. So it was also for 200 marks and 200 marks for the GS paper. So the total score was combined together, and then the cutoff was decided. So out of 400 people are scoring like 290, 300. Cutoff used to be 220, 230 like that. So the UPSC noticed that there is lots of memorization, rote learning happening, right? People with particular optional are able to clear prelims again and again. So they introduced CSAT paper in 2011. So in the beginning, when they introduced the CSAT paper, again the paper 1 and CSAT scores were combined together. So they didn't give it a thought in the beginning, 2011 and 12. That was a big mistake, combining scores of both paper 1 and paper 2 CSAT. So what happened? All the people who are pursuing engineering, right? People after 10th or 12th who opted for science and technology education, they were able to score out of 200 in CSAT 170, 180, and GS1 they could score only 20, 30, and then become eligible for mains. UPSC didn't give it a thought, before making CSAT just eligible screening test. So that was a mistake, and they rectified in 2013. So now you have to score how many marks in CSAT paper? 66.6 and above. Out of 200, you need to score 66.6 plus to be eligible for what? So that your paper 1 gets evaluated. Now paper 1 cutoff, how much it was last year? 200 marks paper, right? Out of 200, how much you had to score to write mains examination? So it was around 92 last year, right? So this year the cutoff is not yet out, but we are expecting it to be around 72 or 73. There is a 20 marks drop in the cutoff, which indicates the difficult nature of the questions, the examination. The examination is so tough that the cutoff has come again drastically down. It happened in 2023 again. 23 the cutoff was 75.4. So 72 it was again somewhere around 86 or 88. We all felt 22 paper was very difficult, and then 23 the paper was made even more difficult, both CSAT and paper 1, and then the cutoff was brought down. If CSAT is made difficult, more difficult, then the cutoff is further brought down all the time, because most of the competition gets eliminated in CSAT itself, right? So this year it has again happened. So the cutoff could be 70, 71, 72, but based on the feedback given by those who got selected for mains and those who didn't get selected, so we are saying that around 72 to 73 could be the cutoff. Now in the CSAT paper, they have mentioned comprehension, reasoning, and there are two words, analytical ability, right? The syllabus heading itself says explicitly analytical ability. So there are two parts. One is the comprehension part, another one is the math part, reasoning, basic numeracy skills, data interpretation, right? So it says analytical ability. And then in the paper 1, the kind of questions we are getting nowadays, people are thinking that mere remembering facts and example would be enough to somehow get above the cutoff marks. Familiarity of everything for preliminary examination. So people are thinking now the UPSC is forcing people to analyze even the paper 1 questions. There also it is checking the analytical ability of the candidate. Now what happened? Coinciding with the UPSC reforms, 2013 it brought all the reforms, right? And then especially during the COVID time, till 2019, we didn't see a drastic change in the pattern of the examination. So whatever there in 2016, 2019, more or less, the same difficulty level, same thing was there. And then COVID came, right? 2019, 20, 21, 3 COVID years. During that time, what happened? We were forced to go online, everyone, right? Suddenly, there was eruption of online learning culture, right? The online learning culture, online platforms, online coaching institutions, online mentors, Telegram channels, everything. Suddenly, it was like widespread, and knowledge became so decentralized, available to everyone. And we, at the same time, we all got addicted to screens, right? We became more comfortable learning from our phones, iPads, or laptops, than going to physically the classroom or going for the physical books, right? And also the online thing, what happened? It reduced our attention span, right? The shorts culture, or reels culture. People say make only 2-minute YouTube video so that more people watch it, right? So the long hour videos were not encouraged. So now what it happened in the UPSC preparation, the people till then who were referring to books for optional, for GS papers and everything, we were referring for polity, let's say 3 to 4 books, right? Suddenly the online material became very handy and accessible, ready-made, right? Entire polity was condensed into 20-page notes. Anybody could download. The videos became very short. Entire polity I will teach in 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, right? So suddenly it destroyed the entire generation of, it has actually destroyed the entire education system. But when it comes to UPSC preparation, it created a superficial learning. What is the meaning of superficial? Surface level learning, right? It created surface level learning. This COVID and screen culture, online culture, everything. Now that got reflected in the mains and interview stages. In mains, we started seeing that, suddenly till 2020, people were writing brilliant answers, in-depth essays. Now those who are coming into, maybe there are a few exceptions here and there. I'm talking from the larger perspective. We started seeing the decline here. And then in UPSC also, in the mains examination, the highest marks one could score in the mains examination started seeing declining also, right? The highest marks one was scoring in the mains examination, how much it was? Out of 1750, what was the highest marks? Main stage. Yeah, early 16, I mean 2014, 15, 16, people are scoring 1000, right? And even till 2019, they were scoring 970, 980 and all. Suddenly in 20, it dropped to 927, right? And then next year it dropped to 907. Next year it dropped to 899. Last year it dropped to, before last year 867, the last year 863. The highest marks in mains examination, right? And if you look all the mains questions, the questions haven't drastically changed in the mains, right? If you have seen the mains paper, the questions haven't drastically changed. They are not like very abstract, something that you will never understand or anything. But what has changed is the essay paper. Essay paper has changed. All the philosophical topics, there are 8 topics. We call them philosophical topics because the topics which UPSC is giving in the 2 sections of the essay paper, they are mostly related to, values like knowledge, wisdom, reasoning, mind, justice, truth, freedom, hope, courage, happiness. So these are like philosophical questions to deal with, right? So most of the topics are related to them. Before that, the topics were about democracy, climate change, agriculture, women empowerment, things that are happening around, the big issues which were there in the GS papers. So now this decline in the marks, you can easily attribute it to say that the examination has become very difficult, right? It is actually reflection of the learning ability. It is a reflection of the quality of the competition. So what UPSC was always demanding suddenly got declined in last 4 to 5 years in the quality of the competition. So what was that core demand, right? It clearly says that variety and depth of understanding. Variety and depth of understanding. One is analytical ability, the second one is the depth of your intellectual capacity, depth of understanding, depth, right? What is the first topic in the GS paper 1 in the mains? No. Art and culture from ancient to modern times, right? It is related to art and culture, like Indian heritage culture, art and culture. The last topic in the GS4 is challenges of corruption. It is related to corruption, right? So start with art and culture, GS 1, 2, 3, 4 papers, right? And then there is the last topic is corruption, right? And then essay is there, essay, there is no prescribed syllabus, right? There is a core demand, but there is no prescribed syllabus that we are going to ask these questions. They are somehow, we were thinking they are all related to these things, GS1 to GS4. Now it is reduced to the GS4 kind of topics, the philosophical topics, the essay paper. Now art and culture to corruption, broadly we have topics like art and culture, right? And then history of India and the world. We have society, right? And then we have geography of India and the world. And then we have related topics related to resources, right? And then we have constitution, Indian polity, governance, social justice, international relations. And then we have Indian economy, agriculture, environment and ecology, science and technology, disaster management, general science, and then security issues in paper 3. And then in paper 4 we have two broad sections. One is related to moral philosophy, second one is related to public service, the values of public service. So moral philosophy has philosophical component, philosophy, Tattva Shastra anta ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, the philosophy. And then attached to it there are few topics related to psychology, right? It's about personality, attitude, right? Types of thinking. So it is psychology. And then we have public service related issues. That's what the corruption comes at the in the last. Public service related value, probity, integrity, honesty, right? Citizen charter, good governance, all these things. Now everyone sitting here, those who have come here to become IAS IPS officers, have literally zero knowledge about all these topics, right? You have learned some of them till 10th standard, right? Some basic geography, polity, economy, that was exclusively for the examination purpose, right? To score 95, 99% in 10th so that you could get free admission to better PU college. And then 11th and 12th, PCMB or PCM CS, right? Some of you might have done humanities also, but not from highly reputed institutions where the humanities was taken very seriously, right? Where humanities was taken seriously, that the depth was there in their teaching, that was not there. That was also again superficial. And then you cleared 12th, some of you became doctors, engineers, BA, BCom, BSc. Some of you took wrong decision that doing BA from some college in some corner of Belagavi, Raichur will help you become IAS by taking 3 years coaching. That was a wrong decision, right? There also you lost opportunity like 3 years. And those who did from best colleges, IITs, RV college, there also, despite having the UPSC interest, becoming, having the dream of becoming civil servant, there also you lost huge opportunity. All of you, I can say with so much confidence, everyone sitting here have never read the Hindu newspaper seriously for more than 1 hour in your entire life? Everyone sitting here, for more than 1 hour with a keen interest in art and culture, right? Maybe geography or economy or polity, international relations, disaster management, science. You haven't done that so far, right? Am I right or wrong? Right. Maybe you might have started 1 month ago, 4 months ago, 6 months ago, maybe 1 year ago also. But again, it is still superficial reading, right? You are still scared to read editorial, open the editorial, read because you don't understand, so you don't put effort. You think that coaching will help. You'll take the coaching and then you start understanding. Definitely 100% coaching is going to help you tremendously in understanding everything. We have seen that. Those who come as zero, they will go on to get ranks every year. They will go on to reach interview stage. We have seen the process. But my point here is that the things that should have been done, right, haven't been done so far. Now the challenge is, that is what I said, it is a process from now onwards. Acquiring, becoming, what is expected out of you. The one who understands your own weakness, lacking of something, and then goes on putting the efforts consistently, he is going to win the race here. So the very first quality is the depth of understanding. As part of the orientation, my first very request for you is to start reading the Hindu newspaper at least for 2 hours every day, whether you are sick, whether you are gone for marriage, whether you are traveling, right? Your eyes can work, your mind can work, as far as I understand, unless there is an extreme thing that has happened to you, right? Never miss reading the Hindu newspaper at least for 2 hours on a daily basis, including Sundays also. Sunday is the most important edition that we get in a week. And all the stupid UPSC aspirants, they think Sunday is a holiday and then they skip reading newspaper on Sundays. Right? I really don't understand, so why you are here in the preparation. Sunday paper has one of the deep analysis of all the issues, right? And every Sunday the Hindu comes up with, in fact all the papers come up with separate special supplement. The Hindu has the name magazine. It's called magazine, and it in the front page it has a very big essay on, for example, yesterday it was more about the youth revolution, the youth movement that took place recently. So deep, analytical, insightful essay on what happened. You read that article, you enrich your perspectives. You read that article, your thinking becomes multidimensional, right? You skip that article, your opinion is the opinion of the general public, right? Or it can be of WhatsApp level, if you skip that. So then there are book reviews. Every Sunday there are book reviews. Book written by the famous authors who are currently living, right? Kuvempu, Tarasu, Shivaram Karantra, they have given timeless literature and they have gone. They are not living, but their works are still living, right? People of that stature or people who can become them, they are writing currently, right? We should know literature. Similarly, in science and technology, right? There are environmentalists who are fighting for a cause. There are social activists. There are anthropologists who are working, those who want to take anthropology. There are sociologists. There are political scientists, right? So all these people are creating something new, right? And then they are leaving it for future generations. You as a civil servant aspirant, there is a second requirement that UPSC has explicitly mentioned, deep interest in current thoughts. It has actually mentioned, you check the notification, the current thoughts, right? Whatever is being created on a daily basis, you should have a curiosity and deep interest in learning them. Now you keep aside newspaper, directly go to YouTube or directly go to monthly compilation, you are not in the race, right? If you rely on monthly compilation of any institution, right, as your exclusive source of current affairs. Without reading newspaper on a daily basis, without analyzing newspaper on a daily basis, you are actually not in the UPSC civil service competition. You might clear village accountant and FDA, STA, 100% with some knowledge you will clear. But if you want to become IAS, if you are imagining yourself, ಪೃಥ್ವಿ ಮೂವಿ ನೋಡಿ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಲೈಟು ಕಾರು ರೈಟ್ ಆ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ದೇಶ್ಮುಖ್ ವೀಡಿಯೋಗಳು ನೋಡಿ ನಾನು ಹಂಗೆ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ liking for first what is happening around us, knowing that, understanding that through newspapers, and also read Prajavani every day. Those who are from Karnataka, those who are from Andhra, Tamil Nadu, your unbiased, prestigious local newspaper, right? The local is also important. You cannot think that I'm UPSC aspirant, let me not read anything about Karnataka government policies. You are going to end up there, right? Maybe in Karnataka, in another state, without knowing the local, right? You are never complete. You should have the grasp of, you should have the understanding of everything that is happening even at the village level. So know the policies of the government, know the legislations of the government, the issues that are happening in the state. So one newspaper. So that my suggestion, you can read Deccan Herald also in English, but my suggestion, your mother tongue knowledge is also very important, right? Now we have a generation born and brought up in English, everything English, especially in Bengaluru, right? ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀರಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಅದು ಹಂಗೇನಾರು ಹೇಳಿದಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಹೊಡೆದಂಗೆ ಆಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನನಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರಲ್ಲ, 10th ತನಕ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಓದಿದ್ದು. ಮೇನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ತೆಲುಗು, ತಮಿಳ್, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾವ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಪೇಪರ್ ಇನ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ out of 300. Out of 300, you have to score 75 plus in compulsory language paper, and there is compulsory English paper also, right? So compulsory English paper is very important. There also 75 plus. Only if it is mentioned as language proficiency, to test language proficiency in their own mother tongue as well as language of communication, the official language, the English. You have to converse in English wherever you are located, from center to, you are a bridge, the language is a bridge. So only after if you score 75 plus in these two papers, all your other 7 papers are evaluated. You know this, right? Only if you score 75 plus in both the paper, then only the 1750 marks is evaluated. You fail in one of these two papers, you won't even get your marks card, right? Even after writing mains. So language is also important, but not just for the examination, but again to have a deeper understanding, and as Lohit was telling, to develop a deeper sense of empathy also, right? You should know the issues, how the different crimes are committed, right? How the system is responding to those crimes, whether it is responding or not responding. When the system, that is governance, when it doesn't respond to somebody who is seeking justice, then what happens, right? From local level to top level, if you keep on learning all these things, that is why I said you will become complete in terms of your values, which are going to be tested again in the interview stage. So be very curious with respect to all these issues. Don't never say that I hate geography, I hate history, I hate economy because I don't understand. Struggle, put all your efforts till you start liking the subject. You have to cover each and every part of the syllabus. You cannot leave out any part of the syllabus for this examination. There was a time when people were leaving art and culture, I am not interested, I don't understand, I will leave it out, it is mere facts, right? I won't read ancient medieval history for prelims, I will skip it, so I'll read only geography, polity, modern history, because the questions are like, it was fixed 20 questions from polity, 20 from geography. I am just giving rough example, right? More or less. Now it is not like that. Now people are wondering where are polity questions. It is full of only art and culture. It is full of only ancient, right? Then you start reading ancient, medieval completely, and then you see, there are so many science and tech questions. I am from Bachelor of Arts. I've done HEP, right? Science and technology, I will keep it away. No, your 10th level basic understanding of physics, chemistry, biology enough to understand most of the issues. Even if you don't understand, learn. Somebody said, clear concepts. Learn the concepts. Start loving these topics. The moment you start, what is the meaning of loving these topics? It is basically appreciating them, right? So you appreciate whatever is happening around us, and then you want to have deeper understanding, so that because you are going to be part of the problem solving team in the future, right? To solve that problem, I think you said, problem solving ability. Without understanding them, how are you going to solve the problem? Again, you are going to become the pawn in the hands of some intelligent politician or superiors. Can you make your own decision? Eliminate all the wrong options, choose the right one, right? So that is why this holistic multidimensional learning is that is the foundation of the UPSC preparation. That starts with newspaper. Now you may have a question, okay, you don't understand anything in the newspaper. You may start reading. Let us say we are starting with economy class, right? But there are so many things related to polity, geography, that you may understand little bit of economy in the news, but you will not understand anything else. You may have the tendency to leave it out, right? But don't do that. Even if you don't understand anything, put efforts in trying to understand something, right? Don't leave out anything. End to end. In the beginning, first 6 months, have patience, have lots of patience, right? And then start developing strong liking for reading newspaper. It should become habit, right? I don't think anyone sitting here will ever forget to brush your teeth as soon as you wake up. Will you forget? Do you forget? It is instant, it is involuntary, right? It is involuntary. It is not optional. It is not lots of after thinking and all, Do you do that? No, right? Newspaper reading should be like that, right? You wake up, the first thing you crave for in the morning is newspaper. Not forget about the examination, that I have to read, I have to make notes, I have to read from this to this. Nothing. Remove that from your end. Read it end to end with curiosity. Try to learn. If you don't know new concept, you have lucky fellows, you have AI, right? It can explain to you, right, the concept. Now don't go for shortcut. Put the PDF into Gemini and tell it, give me the crux of the newspaper. If you have been reading for 3 to 4 years, you could do that. If you have been reading newspaper last 3 to 4 years, maybe that would have been an option for you. Because you don't have newspaper reading habit, don't go for shortcut, because you will be skipping the foundation, and then you are trying to build Burj Khalifa, on sand, right? You need foundation, right? So you have to go through this struggle, not able to learn, struggling, going for 2-minute depression, right? And then coming out of it by yourself, putting effort. This is all the process that makes you tough individual, both mentally and cognitively. It will make you a tough individual, not difficult, tough individual. So this is a required skill. Do it. The same thing should be done for all the core topics also. Core topics where you need to refer to standard books, not just the coaching notes. First, reading NCERT, every NCERT 6 to 12th is a must. This is to have conceptual clarity. NCERTs. Some of you might have read some of you might not have, but compulsorily start reading and stay ahead of the classes. So if you're teaching economy, don't glue to only economy only. In newspaper you are learning something new, be curious and learn something new. And also you can read another NCERT, polity or geography, right? The learning should never stop. Learning should not be predictable, limited and restricted. Don't put boundary around it. So there should not be boundary around something. So have a open, free mind, keep learning. So this is for 1 year, 1.5 year, right? Once you do it in a sustainable way for 1.5 year, you have built a very strong foundation. On that, everything will become easy later, right? Now without this, you will struggle to write answers. You will feel very difficult, right, to write an answer. Even if you have courage to write an answer, you cannot write because you lack the foundation. You lack the interlinkages. You won't even understand the questions. Essay writing becomes the most difficult task because 1200 words you have to write, right? 1200 words, 2 essays in 3 hours. You need to generate lots of ideas on the go. In 1.5 hours, you need to write 1200 words. And unfortunately, for essay, forget about you. Even those who have written multiple mains, even they cannot write a decent essay even now also, because the nature of topic suddenly changed. And nobody has read philosophy, nobody has read a bit of psychology, because you lack that general interest. And you also lack, in addition to newspaper reading habit, unfortunately, strong set of hobby related to reading and writing. You may be good in sports, other stuff, which is extremely good, excellent, appreciate you for that. That should be there and continued also. It can be watching movies, it can be theater, it can be sports. Continue that, at least for half an hour every day or few hours in a week, continue that. But 2 other hobbies which perfectly complement, help you succeed in this examination in minimum limited attempt, is one is writing habit and another one is reading literature or non-fiction also, right? Reading books, general books. How many of you read books here? Okay, which book you have read? Sit and answer, it's okay. Mm-hmm. Whose philosophy? Acha, Gandhi life and philosophy. Very good, very good. Good. You? Like example? Silent Patient. So there is a movie also, I think. Silent Patient, okay. Good. And then? Bereyoru? Any books? Yes. Yes. Fiction like Kannada or English? English. Yardo? Khalid Hussain. Alex? Okay. That is Khalid Hussain only. The Kite Runner. 1000 Splendid Sun. Okay. Then? Good. Good. Who else have read some books? About? Bom Swami. It's a book. Good. You write something good. Then? ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರು ಓದಿಲ್ಲ ಬುಕ್ಸ್? ಯಾರು ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆಂಟ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವುದೂ ಓದಿಲ್ವ? ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ರೆಡ್ ಚೇತನ್ ಭಗತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಖಾಲಿದ್ ಹುಸೇನ್, ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್, ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಮೂಕಜ್ಜಿಯ ಕನಸುಗಳು. ನೀನು ಸುಮ್ಮನಿರು. ಯಾರು ಬರ್ದಿರೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಹಾಂ, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ, ಯಾವ್ದು ಓದಿದ್ಯಾ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು? ಹಾಂ, ಅಣ್ಣನ ನೆನಪು ಅವ್ರ ಮಗಳು ಬರ್ದಿರೋದು, ತಾರಿಣಿ. ಹಾಂ, ಅವರು ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದು ಅಣ್ಣನ ನೆನಪು. ಓಕೆ. ಅವ್ರ ಬುಕ್ಸು ಕಾರ್ವಾಲು ಮತ್ತು ಚಿದಂಬರ ರಹಸ್ಯ ಓದಿಲ್ವಾ? ಅಬಚೂರಿನ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫೀಸು ಇಲ್ಲ, ತಬರನ್ನ ಕತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಾಂ ಯಾರು ಓದಿರೋದು? ಸಂಜಯಗಣ್ಣಿನ ಹಿನ್ನೋಟ ಯಾರು ಬರ್ದಿರೋದು? ಏನು ಮೂರ್ತಿರಾವ್. ಯು ರೆಡ್ ದಟ್ ಬುಕ್? ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ದೇವರು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ ಇದೆ, ಓದಿದೆಯಾ? ಏನು ಮೂರ್ತಿರಾವ್. ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಯಾರು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀರಿ? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ಡ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್. ಏನು ಮೂರ್ತಿರಾವ್. ಗುಡ್. ಮತ್ತು ಏನು ಮೂರ್ತಿರಾವ್ ಓದಿದರೆ ಬೇರೆದು ಓದಿರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರು ಓದಿಲ್ವ ಶೇಕ್ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ಬುಕ್ಸು? ನಮ್ಮ ಕುವೆಂಪು ಅವ್ರ ಬುಕ್ಸು ಕನ್ನಡದವರಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ? ಕನ್ನಡದವರೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ. ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೀಸ್ ನೋ, ಟೈಮ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಓದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ರೀಸನ್ ಏನು? ಟೈಮ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ವೈ ಯು ಡಿಂಟ್ ರೀಡ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಆರ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಸಿ, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ವಿಕ್ಟಿಮ್ಸ್, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ವಿಕ್ಟಿಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಏನೀಗೆಲ್ಲ ರೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಗಳು, ದ ಪೋರ್ಲಿ ಬಿಲ್ಟ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ನೆವರ್ ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ಡ್ ಯು ಟು ಪರ್ಸ್ಯೂ ದೀಸ್ ಹಾಬೀಸ್, ನೈದರ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹೋಮ್ಸ್ ನಾರ್ ಇನ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಯು ವೆಂಟ್ ಟು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಐ ಸೆಡ್, ಈಗ ಯಾರು ಇವನ್ IIT ಇಂದ ಬಂದವರು, RV ಕಾಲೇಜ್, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲೇಜು, BMC ಅಂತಾರೆ, ಅವರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪುಸ್ತಕದ ಹುಳುಗಳು. CGPA ಅದು ಹೋಲಿ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಅದು ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಬಹಳ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಹೋಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ? ಹಾಂ, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ, ಭಾಳ ಪುಣ್ಯದ ಏನು, ಪವಿತ್ರ, ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪವಿತ್ರವಾದದ್ದು. 9.5 CGPA ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಬಂತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಓದೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಇಟ್ಬಿಡೋದು. ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠೆ ವಿಚಾರ ಅದು. ಪೇಪರು ಬೇಡ, ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸು ಬೇಡ, ಏನು ಬೇಡ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಏನು ಯೂಸ್, ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತು ನಿಂಗೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ? ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನ. ಆ ಟೈಮ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಅಷ್ಟು ಬಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು CGPA ಇಂದ ಜಾಬು ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ CGPA. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ our education system has done the damage to us, right? So we chase targets, we chase something outcome oriented. You should never be outcome oriented. You should be process oriented. We should love the process, we should enjoy the process of learning, right? The process of learning includes everything: learning from books, learning from people, learning from interacting. Learning from interacting is the biggest minus of our education system, right? We don't interact with teachers or mentors, right, when it comes to learning. And here at InsightsIAS, that is the most painful thing that I see here. We have a structured professional mentorship program here, right? You walk in, there are so many mentors, all highly qualified, dedicated, right, empathetic, humble, willing to help you, but we see very few people coming and approaching them. You don't have that habit of coming and approaching the mentors. And why this is important? As I was telling, the UPSC examination test, depth of understanding, curiosity, the range, the variety, right? At the core of everything is the originality, right? At the core of everything is originality or individuality. So the way you write essay, you should be very individualistic, right? You should know that it is written by you. Every essay should be different. It should be the creation of, work of, based on your understanding, experience, observations, your knowledge, everything coming together and doing something. Even all the answers also. Now, because the examination is highly subjective, it's not objective when it comes to mains. Every answer is a different work. Every essay is a different, right? Even in interview answer, we cannot give predictable same answer for the same question. It has to be from you, original individual. So the mentorship will help you strengthen that individuality, originality, when you go and interact, right, one-on-one with mentors. So if you come to with me an essay, I am never going to give you a formula that you have to write essay like this only. My feedback is going to be solely based on what you have written and who you are. That interaction, based on that. I'm not going to tell you that topper wrote something like this, you write. I'm never going to tell you. If somebody says that, don't follow that. Right? Thus, that institution has told, that teacher has told, that topper. No. You have to discover. You have to create your own originality. So for that, mentorship is very important. So unfortunately, if there were 60 students in your class, hardly 3-4 people would have gone and met your teachers during your 3-4-5 year education. Am I right? ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೋಗಿ ಭಾಳ ಕುತೂಹಲದಿಂದ ಟೀಚರ್ನ ಬೆನ್ನತ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ದಾವಣಗೆರೆ ಭಾಷೆ ರೈಟ್ ಅವನ್ನ ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹುಡ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಸರ್ ನಂಗೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ ಇದು ನನಗೆ ನೀವು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಒಂದು 10 ನಿಮಿಷ ಅಂತ ಕೂರಿಸಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ನಾಟ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು 3 ಜನ 4 ಜನ ಹಂಗಿದ್ರಿ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ದಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ವಿಲ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ವಿಲ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ 0 to ಸದ್ಯ ಹೀರೋ ಅನ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು 0 to ಟಾಪರ್ ರೈಟ್ ದ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ because feedback will help you eliminate all the mistakes that you could have done, you could have committed, right? It will always bring back you to the right path. So that is why at InsightsIAS take feedback on a timely basis, because again it is reality. You are in the Insights classroom, you are in the Insights ecosystem now. So there are teachers, there are evaluators, there are mentors, there are experts, so who are willing to evaluate. So for that to happen, because you cannot come and have motivational talk, right? You need to come and show something. So which brings us to the important part of this session. When I started with the depth, you need not develop depth in each and everything, right? Art and culture to everything. So within art and culture, there are few topics where you need to develop lots of depth. For example, there have been almost, let us say, last 30-year prelims, at least 20-25 years, there is always 1 or 2 questions related to Buddhism in the art and culture. And the nature of the question has changed from factual to philosophical within Buddhism. So what UPSC is trying to test as part of art and culture, your deeper understanding of Buddhist philosophy. Now without understanding Buddhist philosophy, right? Without understanding Buddhist philosophy in its all the essence, now if you think that you can learn few mudras, some keywords related to Buddhist philosophy, some keywords related to Buddhist literature, architecture, sculpture, right? Random things. And then if you think you are going to answer this question, you are wrong. You need to read a basic Buddhist philosophy, which is there in the textbooks, NCERT it is there, right? It is written for school children to understand the Buddhist philosophy. And then there are standard textbooks for adult audience where you can learn. You don't have to read entire thick book on Buddhist philosophy. It is still 10-15 pages worth long content. You need to read it. You need to understand. So you need to have liking for Buddhist philosophy. Similarly, Hindu philosophy, right? So many philosophers have come and gone in Hinduism. They say there are 6 schools of philosophy in Hinduism. So what are the each school of philosophy? So there have been questions on that also. So this deeper understanding, to start developing deeper understanding, you need to do compulsorily 2 things. One, always have previous year question banks with you, right? Now without understanding the trends, without understanding the trend analysis is important. For that you need to have analytical ability. So before I move to talk about PYQ, I would like to know, because I have been using the word analytical analysis, analytical ability a lot. Can anybody correctly, clearly define what is analytical ability? And then okay, You are partially right. Breaking down of complex issue or topic into components, she said, and then making use of it, you said. It is partially right. What is the full answer? What is analysis and what is analytical ability? She has given you hint now. What is the second part of that answer? That's what it is. So she is right. Analysis means breaking down any topic, any issue into its constituent parts. Right, breaking down it into parts. Basically, its constituent parts. Everything is composed of many parts. Right. It can be any issue. The recent Gen Z protest. Right. It can be anything like the very concept of democracy, for example, or the very concept like the SIR which is happening. You can break down them into so many parts. That ability to first break down it into its part. The part may be related to economy, polity, geography, whatever it is. The second part of it is understanding the interaction between these parts. Right. So that was missing in your answer. Understanding the how each part interact with each other, influence each other. That is most important. So then only you will be able to understand. Or now each part can be a concept, it can be fact, it can be idea, so many things. Right. So that ability to see something as its parts, understand the interaction, and how it is giving rise to certain issue or opinion, and then based on that developing your opinion. Now what is the critical thinking? The definition of critical thinking. Earlier you said, Srushti, sorry, Reshma. What is the meaning of critical thinking? Definition of critical thinking. Tell me, Reshma. ವಿಮರ್ಶಾತ್ಮಕ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೋಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, having multiple. Okay, again it doesn't fully define. Summarize, is summarize the right word? Summarizing anybody can do, right? Like understanding. So that's what a part of the analysis. But what is critical thinking? Evaluating. Very good. Evaluation is the right word. Evaluating what? So you can come here. Hello, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬನ್ನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್. Come here. No. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ ನೀವು. Go to that side. Who else? Critical thinking. ಹಿಂದಿರೋರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತು. Yes, she said evaluation. Your name? Karthika. Okay. Evaluation. Understanding and interpreting. Okay, you interpret what? Like how you interpret? Or why do we interpret something? To get some information or insights, mere information and insights. What purpose? Why do you want information and insights? So let me give you a statement. Okay. The Gen Z movement which took place was a foreign conspiracy. This is my statement, right? How many of you agree with this? How many of you disagree with this? How many of you disagree with this? The Gen Z movement that which happened, no, totally, which resulted in resignation of education minister is a foreign conspiracy. It is, I'm making a statement here. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? How many of you agree? How many of you disagree? The moment I asked the question, what happened to you? You started thinking about it, right? Whether my statement is right or wrong, right? And then I asked a question whether you agree or disagree. Most of you are still unable to make up your mind, right? Whether to agree or whether to internally it is saying you disagree. I know that, right? Internally saying that you disagree with the statement, but still you cannot raise your hand for some reason, right? So whenever somebody, I totally disagree with this, right? Maybe small element of it in maybe in this, but somebody when they make a statement, whenever somebody makes a statement, especially opinion, your ability to question that premise, ability to question that opinion, right, and then arrive at your own balanced opinion based on analysis, right, is critical thinking. So you formulate your own opinion, which is unbiased, objective, based on, again, your depth of understanding, ability to analyze everything. Only after analyzing, understanding, then only you can develop your opinion, right? What is right or wrong, what is true or false. You can, your opinion can be, you can support my statement, you can disagree with my statement, but that totally depends on your reasoning ability. If you can give more reasons to say that yes, it is foreign conspiracy, all the reasons which are truthful, logical, based on sound facts, then you may be right, you may convince me, right? Or if you, somebody who is disagreeing, you can give me 10 reasons. No, I have these 10 distinct reasons, again not repetitive reasons. This quality is important in the interview. Okay, so developing analytical thinking and critical thinking is a process. First, analytical ability has to be developed, and then you will go on developing opinion. When you go to interview, they expect you to have clear-cut opinion. So in the interview, they have mentioned few more critical powers of assimilation. This word is there in the notification. Critical powers of assimilation and clear and logical exposition. Depth and variety of interest. You should have variety of interests, not just polity, economy. You should have interest in literature, art, movies, sports. So we have 1 or 2 questions on sports also in preliminary examination. 1 or 2 questions on maybe movies also, right? Not frequently, now and then. So all of this combined together, right, you become complete aspirant, complete candidate. So the process is first understanding the PYQs, right? Once you know the definition of what this, you need to analyze PYQs. I have made a video how to analyze question papers or PYQ. You can go to YouTube and there is a 3-step process. So analysis is very important. You analyze, break down everything into small topics. For example, art and culture. You small topics, the entire art and culture, right? And within that, you see the trend. Some topics were frequently asked. And then you ask the question why some topics were frequently asked, right? One of the answer is that its significance to our society, culture, and largely to humanity. There are some topics which are extremely important for humanity, from cultural, societal, sometimes political viewpoint. They are very important. So UPSC keeps going to deeper and deeper level when it comes to such kind of topics. Once you have deciphered that across prelims and mains, which are these topics, you need to dig deeper into those topics, right? Now digging deeper, the second step is the analysis of the mains PYQs. So if you know mains PYQ, then you will see a complementary trend between prelims and mains. And once you have understood the mains trend, the immediate task you need to do on a daily basis, in addition to reading newspaper, attending class, going back, reading your notes, reading from NCERT, reading from some standard textbooks, it's a multi-layered process. You come to the classroom, teacher teaches you something, right? Don't be satisfied with it completely, right? Be curious, you want to learn more. So you have to go back and read basic concepts clearly from NCERT. Some of them you have to dig deeper. The teacher might not have given, the deeper content for it. So you need to refer to some standard textbooks at the internet. Again, based on what? Based on your understanding of the PYQs. And again, there may be some questions which are not there in previous year questions, but based on common sense, you know that this is important, because social, cultural, and from humanity perspective, you think this is an important topic. You need to develop depth. So what you need to do after this revising and reading and enhancing your knowledge, compulsorily those who are ambitious to crack this examination, on a daily basis write minimum 5 answers, right? 5 answers on a daily basis, even if you are a 0. Previous batches I would say 2 answers, 3 answers, right? Now understanding the gravity of the situation, right? And knowing that you people are restless, all of you are Gen Z, right? Gen Z, because you want to achieve something in short span of time and also qualitatively with good result, you have to move away from screens. Take notebooks, paper, and pen, and start writing at least 5 answers every day. First 5 answers, let them be the worst answer in your life, worst thing that you have written in your entire life. Second day, let it be worst. Third day, let it be worst. Fourth day, even more worse than your previous 3-4 days. But never stop writing, right? If you can apply this formula on a daily basis, now you can ask, okay, which are all these 5 questions, right? 2 questions from the things we teach in the class. One we give by ourselves. One more you choose from the PYQ, right? Minimum 2 mains. I'm talking about main questions. And 3 questions from an initiative from our website. So an initiative that we started 13 years ago, that I started, which has resulted in the creation of toppers like Srushti Deshmukh. This initiative alone created so many top 10 ranks in last 10 to 12 years. So they were able to follow this initiative consistently, diligently, right? And they were able to reap huge rewards. So this website should be your guiding light in addition to our class, not for passive learning, not for merely reading something, to do something, to write answers. So you have to go to 2 initiatives. Now I am talking about mains answer writing. So there is something called free initiatives, and then there is something mains. This is called secure initiative. And there are articles how to use, and then there is a timetable for those who have completed coaching, but then specimen and question answer booklets of toppers, self-evaluation guide, how you can evaluate. And so every day, today is 27th, the 27th questions are posted. Last 13 years, not a single day is missed, except Sunday. Every Sunday we give essay topic for you to write essay. Every weekday we give this. I'll just randomly, okay. So what we do, based on the UPSC syllabus, all 4 GS papers, we post questions, right? This is based on the timetable. The growth of Indian nationalism was shaped as much by colonial policies as by indigenous political initiatives. So it's a very broad question. How did Indian nationalism develop over a period of so many decades? And then we give you how to answer that question. See, discuss the relationship between demographic transition and regional development disparities in India examine the policy challenges arising from uneven demographic trends, suggest measures to achieve balanced demographic development. Now, what is the source of the question? This is a newspaper article, the New Indian Express. So, like this, we choose articles. This is totally relevant to paper one topic, demography, the population issues. It is there in the paper one under society. So, we choose articles. So, use advertisement nodli anta navella. Anyway, so decoding centers demographic review. Several states have witnessed declining fertility rates, and so this is related to union government policy related to the population of India, right? ಇದು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಹೋಗೋದಂಗಪ್ಪ ಇದು ಅದೇ. So now what people do, right? They click on the question. So they post their answers in the comment box, right? So it is Ajit. We don't know who is Ajit. Ajit can be somebody from Nagaland or Tamil Nadu, any part of India, right? And he has written an answer, and he has posted, and Insights has reviewed, right? Now you can sit here and see how Ajit has written. Similarly, Rajesh, and then Nakul Yadav. Ribosome also has written answer. Right. So the ribosome answer is this different, less more paragraph oriented. We saw point format. And then there is rock salt. Right. Now the rock salt has a different presentation. Looks good. Right. They don't want to reveal their original name, so Priya Sharma, see, so she has taken one institution this thing, and she is practicing insights questions here, right? And this also looks neat. And then Dhritiman Das, current ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತವ್ರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. Manish Raj, nice, very good. Pranjal Tripathi. So these are all followers of Insights from across India who are posting their answers. Now, from this initiative, you choose any 3 questions, right? 3 questions where you want to learn something new on that day. You are reading newspaper. They are from the newspaper only. They are not from the newspaper. They are from the newspaper. You read the Hindu, more or less the issue will be covered. So you have to develop depth in that now, right? So to develop depth, in addition to reading, writing is the most important exercise. So choose any 3 questions, one from GS1, GS2, GS3. And similarly, the education system, there is a question. Then there is something related to water diplomacy from Indian Express. This article, right, this is from the Indian Express. There are 2 Indian Express, right? Again Ajit has written one more. Now Naveen didn't write that answer, he has written this answer. Priya, this is another Priya, right? Kalpataru boy, I think, I don't know from where. Eva. Pranjal Tripathi, again second answer. So there are people who write all the answers to all the questions. There are who choose some. Srushti Deshmukh used to answer all the questions on a daily basis. We used to say in capital letter her name used to come. Srushti Deshmukh. Every day she used to post at least minimum 5 to 6 answers. So when I inquired when she gave a topper's talk to through online. Her husband had come to give offline. She came online. She said she used to write almost all the answers secure. So what it does, the things I've been talking about since the beginning, right? As part of the process, acquiring all these skills, analytical, critical thinking, depth of understanding, deeper knowledge, retention of that knowledge, primarily happens through the writing process, right? If you're not writing, you're not in the competition. One is if you're not reading the Hindu, go back, right? If you start reading the Hindu, understanding everything, the next part is to write answers. So till now, you haven't had that kind of practice, right? You never wrote anything, not even love letters also. ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಾರ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ರು ನೀವೇನು ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದಿರೋಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅವೇ ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ಮೆಸೇಜು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಹೌದು ನೀವು ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಪ್ಪ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಪ್ಪನೂ ಬರೀತಿದ್ರು ಸರ್ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮಂಗೇನೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪ ಇರೋ ನಾವು ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಓಕೆ ಓದ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ಏನು ಬರ್ದವ್ರೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನೌ ದಟ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೆಟ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರಿ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್, ಜರ್ನಲ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್, ಬ್ಲಾಗಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? You can start blogging. That is one of the wonderful hobbies that you can develop. Start writing anything you think about. Writing ಇಂದನೇ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಅನಾಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್, ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್. And when you go to interview, you tend to remember almost everything. Even when you go to mains, with daily answer writing practice, you tend to remember everything. So now I have given you the target of 5 answers. Let us say at least in the worst case you write 2 to 3 answers on a daily basis. So we have got nearly 365 days for next mains examination. Next year mains examination we have got 365 days. So barring Sundays where you reserve it for tests and other stuff, on a daily basis if you write even 2 answers, right, 300 days. How many answers you would have written? 600 answers. 600 answers. I hope you choose wisely, like some 150 from paper 1, 150 paper 2, like this, right? So 150 mains answers you have written, let's say for paper 2. And then in the actual examination, there are only 20 questions, right? So now we have got 150 answers written, practiced, and revised everything in one of the notebooks. And then there are going to be 20 questions. And all these questions are like contemporary, what you have practiced. The most important one, PYQ plus the most important issues. There is, I promise you, at least 60% of the questions are going to be from this notebook. Questions may not be as it is. Questions will never be as it is. But the topics in some other dimension, 3-4 questions combined, there can be new question here in the actual UPSC examination. 3-4 question combined, what you have written, there can be a new question. But everything is there in 150 question that you have written. So if you write in this manner, if you practice in this manner, you already have conquered the mains examination for all the papers, GS 1, 2, 3, 4. Because out of 20 questions, you need to write around 14 quality answers, right? To sail through, to score above the cutoff. Cutoff is around 730 for general category. So you can actually score even better. Maybe you can further increase the cutoff marks, increase the highest marks. If you practice like this. Most of the people are not practicing like this. They are going for shortcuts, test, ready-made material, just writing superficial answers, right? And answer writing will help you in preliminary examination, right? The preliminary examination success totally depends on how many answers you have practiced next 1 year. If you want to crack in 2027, The reason is that, let us say you write some 5 to 6 answers on Buddhism, different. A national movement, different aspects of national movement, you write some 15 to 20 answers. 250 words you would have written. The retention will be very high when you write, think, research and write. Any question at any depth in preliminary examination, where I said even in paper 1 also it is becoming more analytical, you will be able to solve those questions, because there is going to be certainty of knowledge. You are certain that you know this because you have written and practiced. It is not like vague and confused thinking in the examination all. You are not eliminating based on superficial knowledge. You are eliminating based on certainty that I know, I have read and I have written answer on this, so this is the right answer. So all you need to get is around 45 to 50 questions right out of 100 in preliminary examination. So the topics on daily basis you choose should be overlapping with the preliminary examination, the preliminary syllabus, so that it perfectly integrates. And after reading newspaper, this is one initiative. Another must initiative that on a daily basis, it's a fun initiative, it's a quiz, daily current affair quiz. So go to this quizzes. So all the months quizzes are on a average is like 24 to 20, because Sunday we don't post, on a daily basis we post. You get entire analysis, like what is your accuracy rate of the competitors and everything. Right. So these are the questions. We post 15 questions on current affairs. So one here, question number 10. 10 questions from the news. 5 questions from the editorials. There is another initiative called QVED, QUVED, questions from editorials. So 15 questions overall on a daily basis from current affairs. So better luck next time. Correct 0. Wrong 0 because I didn't answer. You scored better than like all the analysis. It is all for free, right? And how many people have scored in the range, like overall from India? Leaderboard, like the ranking. These are legends, this 20 out of 20. They are legends, they know everything. They read and then so you have to come out of that mindset, getting every question right. Be courageous to make mistakes, right? Some people want to get them right. The leaderboard, my name should be there on top. That like cheating. Okay, fine. You can load more also. Yeah, now the thing is, this is more important. So the first, we will give the explanation, the entire explanation. There is a quiz, you take the quiz and then there is explanation why some statement was wrong or right. So 72% I got it correct or something like seeing data and all. So this is purely based on what you read on a daily basis. So this is also like past 12 years. These were the initiatives which I created when I was, I exhausted my aspirants. And then I created this website and it became trendsetter, pioneer in answer writing. Everyone started following throughout the India. And InsightsIAS is known for quality guidance with respect to answer writing, essay writing and interview guidance and overall preparation, the mentorship. So you have to make use of it. So here, daily 15 questions, 15 MCQs. It takes maybe a half an hour to 1 hour for you to solve questions, and then most likely you will get all of them wrong, but you will learn so many things. And then what we do on a monthly basis, we give the compilations. download, right? Questions come answers. Again, all divided topic wise. Only questions, right? So I think there are going to be around 120 odd questions in the question paper format. From, let's say now, August 1 to August 31st, you give all the quizzes. September 1st, you download, right? And then you again give it as a test. Only the questions. Take the questions, you give it as a test, and then you can revise using this. So there are solutions here. Again, you don't have to go to individual quiz on the website. There is a PDF document. So you can revise. Every day we have done this, and then again you are revising on a monthly basis. The same thing. So now monthly 24 days, 15 questions. Means how many questions in a month? 15 current affair questions. Daily 15, 24 days. 24 days in a month. How many questions? ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇಗ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ ಯಾರಾದ್ರು ಆನ್ಸರ್. 360, 10 ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ 3600, 12 ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಹತ್ತತ್ರ 4000 questions. 4000 questions. Now let us take 10 months till your prelims. On a daily basis, nearly 3600 questions. And out of 100 questions, there are going to be maybe 30 to 40 current affairs questions in the preliminary examination. 30 to 40. So now we have this side all 3600 questions done and dusted, revised, solved, monthly, again you practiced and everything. There are going to be 30 to 40 questions. Every single question that is going to appear in prelims is going to be from this source. Not exact question, again I am telling. Not exact question. It can be combination of so many options that are in so many questions. 4-5 questions can be exact also. Very earlier it used to be very high. When before 2019, we would get almost 80% of the questions repeated. Sometimes 20-30 question as it is. Now that era is gone, but all current affairs would have been covered here. The probability is like 0.1%. We are talking about 1% probability, right? Because the things we are posting here on a daily basis are not irrelevant. They are all related to the UPSC syllabus. From there, the questions. So, if you are dreaming of cracking examination in 27, these two initiatives are must. So, don't look at anything else outside this world, right? Daily 15 MCQs, current affairs, and then secure. You do it for like next 300 days. Prelims and mains, you are most likely to really do well. And every Sunday we post essay topic, and at InsightsIAS from very first week or very first month we encourage you to write essays, right? It can be only 2 sides, 3 sides or 4 sides. Compulsorily practice. So another free initiative, weekly essay challenge. So we give like similar topics. The future influences the present just as much as the past. Destiny is inherited. Education is the argument against inheritance. So if you click, I don't know if people participate here. Only 3 people have. Again, Akhil, Anjali Priya, Mahek. There are like 6 people. So you choose the topics that you want to answer here, right? Maybe you can read how others have written. And in the beginning, when you want to write essay, don't panic, right? Some people come and ask, I want to write, I don't know what to write in the essay paper. I tell you, write anything that comes to your mind. Anything. It can be basic 5th standard level essay, let it be there. But start something. Essay paper and interview, these two are the most ignored aspects or components of the examination. Everyone reads geography, polity, economy, like, they are in some mad race to become some GS specialist. But they write answers also. Essay is for 250 marks. Right. Essay is the only paper in UPSC mains where you can cross 140 marks. Right. Out of 250. GS1, you may be a celebrated geographer, sociologist, but you will never be able to score more than 110 in paper 1. Paper 2 more than 120, impossible. Paper 3 more than 100, impossible in GS papers. But in essay, you write, based on your imagination, which is close to the topic. You will have multiple ideas knit together, in a coherent way. That we will learn eventually. But there is a scope of getting 140 plus. So imagine if you want to get into UPSC top 100, right? So I will give you certain targets, right? Combined together, these are the targets that you must achieve. So for example, note it down, essay marks. What is your target? What should be your target? And how you are going to get that target? Essay, your target should be 140 marks. Essay paper, mains. And this 140 is reserved for maybe 10 to 15 people every year now. Most of the toppers score in the range of 120 to 130, but I am giving you 140 target, right? So this 140 is for 2 essays, which means 70 plus 70, right? So for that, if you can come show essays on a frequent basis, regularly, there is one more teacher, Nikhil sir, he is going to handle essay paper, he will be evaluating essays. So if you start now, after 6 months, you will be getting around 45 to 50 from me, the marks, if you start now. If you start 6 months later, you will be getting 20 to 25 marks for your first essay. If you start 1 year later, you will be getting maybe around 25 to 30 marks. Doesn't matter when you start, your first essay is going to get 25 to 30. You may think you have written well, but still it won't be up to the UPSC expectation, the highest standard. If you start now, 6 months later, 50, 55, 1 year later, maybe in 60s. When the actual mains examination come, you might break that barrier 65 plus. GS paper 1, your target should be 100 marks. You are going to get 100 only if you give equal importance to art and culture, world history, post-independent history. These 3 are the neglected areas in paper 1, right? And there is, of course, geography, society part, everybody reads about it. Modern history is there, but neglected part is post-independent history, world history, and art and culture. People ignore it, You should never ignore. Each and every topic should be given equal weightage. We teach everything. At InsightsIAS, prelims come mains, in depth we teach everything, but don't be satisfied with that much. You should go back and explore. For example, art and culture. There are few books, right? No need to buy that book. For example, there is a book on ancient India by A.L. Basham, The Wonder That Was India. The Wonder That Was India by A.L. Basham. There are 2 books. It holistically covers everything. Selectively, you can read few chapters. As I said, Buddhism compulsorily you need to read, right? So whatever culture that was there during the Indus Valley civilization, you must have thorough understanding of Indus civilization, how it was born, what happened during the civilization, what are the things that they created, everything, and significance of that. It is there in NCERT like that. So paper 1 you can score 100 or 100 plus, provided you don't ignore these things. Because modern history, geography, society, everybody reads. But these are the most important. paper 2 target should be 110 marks. Similarly, paper 3, you read the original constitution once. Sorry, paper 2. Before going to Lakshmikant, you need to do two things. Before going to Lakshmikant, for paper 2, you cannot score good marks only by merely reading Lakshmikant. Even in prelims, you cannot get all the questions right, merely reading Lakshmikant. First, class 11th and 12th, political science textbooks. You master them, especially two books. One, the Indian Constitution at Work. Second one, there is another book, Political Theory. The philosophical questions related to Constitution, it is addressed in that book. And the Indian Constitution at Work, these two are extremely important book. After reading NCERT textbooks, then you move to standard books. And there is another book, D.D. Basu, Introduction to Indian Constitution. Durga Das Basu, D.D. Basu. Everyone recommends Lakshmikant. I don't personally recommend. I don't like the book. It is mere facts. If you want to develop analytical thinking, right, analytical ability, you need to go beyond facts. How they have analyzed an issue, how they have analyzed fundamental right, how they have analyzed each individual rights, how they have analyzed each and every Supreme Court case. You need to develop that, right? So D.D. Basu is the best book only after finishing NCERT. There are Mahatmas in this UPSC preparation who have never read NCERT polity textbooks. They will never score good marks in polity. They keep struggling. NCERT textbooks. You can start now only, immediately, right? It doesn't require any prior understanding, prior knowledge. You can understand on the go. You should read these two books. And then keen interest in every single government policy, both union and state government. Keep looking for it in the newspapers, because nearly 30-40% of the syllabus is all about the government policies and schemes, right, related to the welfare schemes, related to all the sections of the population. And then international relations. So international relations and geopolitics is very important, paper 2. You can understand these two better only if your world history is good and if your geography is good, right? Only by knowing geography and world history properly. So you should have atlas, standard atlas with you, Oxford student atlas, right, with you in your book, in your bag, every day, everywhere. Keep looking at atlas. Remember the world as it is. All the important seas, oceans, mountains, countries, capitals, the straits, bays, right? Now the Strait of Hormuz you might have read in the newspaper, the Iran war, right? So on that there can be a 250 word answer, there can be a question from so many dimensions. So to understand the IR correctly, world history and geography is important. So paper 1, if you do well, paper 2, you can understand better. Society, if you understand well, then you will appreciate the constitution. If you understand the society part in paper 1 very well, you understand the social justice aspect of the social justice part in the paper 2. Otherwise, it will be a mere fact for you, right? Similarly, paper 3, the economy, and the target should be 90 to 95 marks. Let's say 90 marks, right? So here the ignored part is the analytical part of economy and environment and security issues. People learn facts about economy, but they don't analyze. They don't, they don't read editorial on economic issues, right? Why there is inflation, why there is depreciation, because of war, what could be the economic impact, the analytical part. Lack of it results in the lower marks in the paper 3, right? So give equal importance again to agriculture, again ignored subject. We at InsightsIAS we have separate teacher for agriculture, disaster management. They are taught separately, separate subjects. And at InsightsIAS you know the approach, one subject at a time. So we teach one subject. In Delhi University they mix everything. 2 days one subject, 1 day another subject, 2 days another subject, another 1 day. In a week you have 4 subjects. The first subject will come after 2 months again. After you have forgotten everything. Here it is not like geography, first day to last day geography. So we might add another subject parallelly, but that is also complete subject. So geography, economy, end to end you will be learning parallelly. After completion, we have full length monthly test, and then we have weekly test, revision test also. Majority give prelims part on a weekly basis. They ignore the mains part. Those who ignore the mains part, again PDO, PSI, SDA, FDA. Those who write all the mains test every day, IAS, IPS, Indian Foreign Service. So you choose where you want to be, like you want to be FDA, SDA, or you want to be IAS. It is easy to tick and bubble the OMR, but take the full booklet and write answers, 10 questions. You have to do it. That is why you have come. Parents have sacrificed, and you come till here to develop your abilities, right? Capabilities. So you do it. So paper 3 around 90, and you can go and 100 plus. I have rarely seen anyone. Okay, in paper 3, mainly because of this kind of bias towards these subjects. Paper 4 ethics 130. So ethics paper depends on lots of your common sense and deep interest in philosophy, both Western and Indian philosophy, especially moral philosophy. There are so many philosophical, political philosophy, right? Philosophy related to so many things of life, but we are more interested in moral philosophy. So read, there is one website, Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, and then Princeton Encyclopedia of Philosophy. Stanford University, world's one of the topmost university. They have a free philosophical encyclopedia. So there you can selectively choose articles, and then website Britannica Encyclopedia, right? Britannica Encyclopedia. How many of you heard about it? Britannica. That should be your ultimate source for knowledge, actually. Let us say I'll search Buddhism here, Buddhist philosophy. There are so many. These are written by, these articles are written by the world's best mind, those who have won Nobel Prizes, Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge professors. These are not written by content writers of any university, any coaching institution. These are the primary, ultimate quality sources for you, right? Let us say, right here, the foundations, historical development, Buddhism in the contemporary world, and the major systems and their literature. What is Theravada? Beliefs, doctrines, and practices. Meditation and all the philosophy, right? If you read this article, entire article, and go back to all Buddhism related questions in UPSC, you have answer to every single PYQ on Buddhism in this one article. You can test it. You can go back and you can actually test it. So paper 4 depends on your curiosity, interest in philosophy, moral philosophy. Second one, all of you come here to become administrators, civil servants, right? So you should have keen eye on what is happening in the administration. Every day newspaper has lots of case studies, right? We have to see them as case studies. Some of them are solved, some of them are unsolved, right? Case studies related to corruption, case studies related to protest. There have been case study in UPSC about stampede, what happened during RCB celebration, right? How you could have prevented, you as a SP, and then nepotism, conflict of interest. The questions, all of them related to the things you see in newspaper. So newspaper, while you were reading, you should have ethical perspective on that, right? What is related to ethics? You should have a keen eye to observe them. So if you can bring the real contemporary examples in your answers, 130 plus is possible, right? The more original out of the box thinking, problem solving skills, ethics paper. Optional have target of 250 to 260, 260 highest, 250. The current trend, you can be ambitious, think of 300. Let us say you're getting around 250 marks, right? Can you total all the marks that we discussed? Essay, 4 GS papers and optional. Optional, keep it as 250 marks. How much you are getting? 800? Exact 800. Huh? 820. How many of you got 820? ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಲ್ಲ. How many of you are here? 820 banta? 800 to 820. Yeah. So let us say it is 800 and you score 160 in the interview, you are in top 100. Right? You score 160 in the interview, you are still in top 100. 150 in the interview, you are still in top 100. So these targets should be your driving force for day-to-day preparation. You should have this in your mind. In fact, think even bigger than this. Be ambitious. This is the minimum threshold. Essay 140 plus, ethics 130 plus, all 100 plus, optional nearly 300. Without having high standards, high benchmarks, without being ambitious, you cannot go, long in this preparation. Without having high standards, big ambitions, you cannot. If you ask me one thing, how I can sustain my inner motivation, how I can be consistent, the one answer I would give you is be very, very ambitious. Every moment, every day, be ruthlessly ambitious. Right? The ambition is the bigger force that will keep pulling you out of the ordinary things. Right? Because if you're wasting time, if you're getting demotivated, you are suffering from ordinary day-to-day small things, right? You are stuck there. Somehow you are sinking in small things. If you want to be pulled out, develop higher tastes, right? Higher tastes. Develop higher thinking. Be very ambitious, and then you will never be distracted. Not never, you will least distracted. You will have the courage to say no to people. Those who want to distract you, disturb you. You will say no because you have bigger ambition. You want to do this at any cost. So that is how this preparation should be. Enjoying, right? Is it enjoyable, or does it feel burdensome or enjoyable for you? Doing all these things, whatever we discussed, extremely enjoyable. If you ask me, I'm envious. What is the meaning of envious? I'm jealous of you people. Nobody was there to tell us things like this, right? So even now I feel like, I wish I have 10 to 12 hours to read and learn so many things. So we don't have that luxury. For you people, next 1.5 to 2 years is going to be the most enriching part of your lives. The most enriching part. Whatever you have learnt or not learnt till last 20-21 years of your entire life, more than that, you are going to do it in 2 years, and it is also going to change you as an individual. You are going to become more responsible. You are going to become more responsive. You are not going to merely react to something. You are going to think and then, respond to situation. You are going to be more empathetic, provided you have higher ambition. Otherwise, if you are stuck with small, even after coming to Bengaluru, you are not working on enhancing your capabilities, right? So there is no use. You are stuck as an ordinary individual. So never get into any kind of unrelated, unwanted issues. Unrelated, unwanted issues related to UPSC. They are not at all required for you. Here you are here with a clear-cut mission, right? You are ambitious, you want to crack something, but in the process, you will learn, you will change. That is going to help you immensely in whichever field you choose. So after 2 years, my sincere suggestion, because I am your senior and mentor or teacher, after 2 years, either get into higher education or get into a job and continue preparation after 2 years. But 2 years on a daily basis, 12 to 14 hour effort, including hobbies and exercise and everything, not just locking yourself and reading, right? Half a day break in a week, go for a movie. How many of you watched Odyssey, the Odyssey movie? 1, 2, 3. ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ ದ ಓಡಿಸಿ ಮೂವಿ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿದೆ? ಕ್ರಿಸ್ಟೋಫರ್ ನೋಲನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಿ? ಗುಡ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಂತಿದ್ದೀರಿ ದ ಓಡಿಸಿ ಮೂವಿನ? ಗುಡ್. ಗೋ ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಚ್ ಇನ್ ಐಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. ನಾನು ನೋಡಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಓರಿಯನ್ ಮಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಜೊತೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನಲ್ಲಿ. ಟುಮಾರೋ ನಾನು ಒಬ್ಬನೇ ಹೋಗಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಐಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್? ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ 2ನೇ ಸರಿ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಐ ನೆವರ್ ಮಿಸ್ ಅ ಗುಡ್ ಮೂವಿ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ವಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್. ಸೊ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ವೀಕ್ ಮೂವಿನಾರ ನೋಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪರ್ಸ್ನಾಲಿಟಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಾದರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಂಡ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಎನ್ರಿಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ಫೆಸ್ಟಿವಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಲಿಟ್ ಫೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಬುಕ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಲಿಟ್ ಫೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಇವಾಗ ಆಗಸ್ಟ್ 4, 3, 4, 5 ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯಾನೋ ಕಾನ್ಕ್ಲೇವ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ನ್ಯಾನೋ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಅಶೋಕ ಹೋಟೆಲಲ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್? ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಇವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಚುಯಲಿ ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್, ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಕ್ಯೂರಿಯಸ್. ಕ್ವಾಂಟಮ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಡೀತು ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಈಸ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಟಿ. ನೀವು ಆರ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ನಾನೇನು ಸಿಲೆಬಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ರಿಯಲ್ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ. ಇವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವೀಕ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಮಂತ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಟ್ವೈಸ್. ಈ ಚಂದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಥರ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರು ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಚುವಲ್ಸ್, ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದು 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಮಾತಾಡಿ. ಲರ್ನ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್, ಲಿಸನ್ ಟು ದೆಮ್, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಟಾಕ್ ಟು ದೆಮ್. ಲಿಸನ್ ಟು ದೆಮ್, ಲಿಸನ್ ಟು ದೇ ಟಾಕ್, ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಗುಡ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್. ಸೊ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಬರೋ ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಫೀಲ್ ವೆರಿ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಟಾಕ್ ಟು ದೆಮ್ ದೇರ್. ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂನಲ್ಲೂ ಭಾಳ ಕ್ಲಿಯರಾಗಿ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯುನೋ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಕಾನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ, ನಾಟ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್, ಬಟ್ ಆ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಕಾನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್. ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು ಕಾನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್. ಹಂಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ 200+. ಸೊ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ 275 ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ದೇ ಗೇವ್ 225 ಆಸ್ ದಿ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್. ಟಿಲ್ ನೌ ದೇ ವರ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ 215 ಆಸ್ ದಿ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್. ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಿವನ್ 225. ಒಬ್ಬರು ಲೇಡಿ 51ನೇ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, 51st ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್. ಶಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಡ್ maybe one of a kind personality, right? So they come across such wonderful people, so they highly reward in the interview. There is no bias in the interview, zero bias. And all of you should be, why everyone should prepare for UPSC andre, one of the compelling reasons, UPSC hasn't compromised with its integrity so far in conducting examination, the way it selects people from top to bottom, from day 1 to last day of the UPSC process. There is no compromise. Nobody can influence, there is no corruption, nothing. Entirely depends on you people. How you are molded, how you are guided, how you prepare, how you... So that should give you lots of, confidence that there is no bias. So you all development you interview hodre, there you are going to sit minimum like 15 to 20 minutes to 30 to 40 minutes, right? Depending on their interest in you. 25 to 30 minutes, you have good conversation. You walk out. If they like you, they are going to give you 200+. GS paper 1, on paper 3 I was talking. Out of 250, ನೀವು 10 ವರ್ಷ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎಕಾನಮಿ, ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಓದಿ 110 ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. 100 ಮೇಲೆ ಅಂತೂ ಇಂಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾವು. 3 hours ರೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ರೈಟ್, ಸಿ ದಿ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಯರ್, ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಬೆಳಗಿಂದ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಓದಿ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಒಂದು 20 minutes ಮಾತಾಡಿದರೆ ನೀವು, ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಆರ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್. ರೈಟ್. ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಮಚ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟು 190+ ಇನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಟು ಆ 190+ ಅಚೀವ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರೋರು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಮೀಡಿಯಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಂತಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷು, ಹಿಂದಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಆಳವಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡೋಂಥದ್ದು. ದ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್, ದ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್, ಎವ್ರಿ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಥಾಟ್ಫುಲ್, ಥಾಟ್ ಪ್ರೊವೋಕಿಂಗ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಹಂಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ 99% ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷೇ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಡೇ ಟು ಡೇ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿ. ರೈಟ್, ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಾನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್. ನಾನು ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿಲ್ಲ, ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಸಾಗಿ ಬರೋರು ದೇ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಫೇಲ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ ದೇ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್. ದೇ ನೋ ಹೌ ಟು ರೈಟ್, ದೇ ರೈಟ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್. ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ದೇ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಎ ಲಾಟ್. ಆ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಯಾಕಿರಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಈ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಕೊಹಿಷನ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ UPSC. ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಕೊಹಿಷನ್. ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಕೊಹಿಷನ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರ ಜೊತೆ ಹೌ ಯು ಇಂಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ರಿಯಲ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್, ಹೌ ಯು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಎ ಟೀಮ್, ಹೌ ಯು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಬೈ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಟೀಮ್. ಆ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಕೊಹಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಇಂಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬಂದಾಗ ಥಾಟ್ಫುಲ್ ಕಾನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಇರಲಿ. ನೀವು ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ, ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ, ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇಂದ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ತನಕ ನಾನ್ಸೆನ್ಸ್, ಅನ್ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಗಾಸಿಪ್ಸು ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ದೂರ ಇಡಿ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೈಂಡಿಗೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಇವಾಲ್ವಿಂಗ್, ಬಿಕಮಿಂಗ್ ರಿಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಿಚ್. ಸೊ ಲಿಸನ್ ಟು ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಬೀಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್? ಯಾರ್ದು ಕೇಳ್ತೀಯಪ್ಪ? ತೆಲುಗು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್? ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಡ ಕಣ್ರು. ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಈ ಫೈನ್, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫೈನ್, ಬಟ್ ದರ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಲಿಸನಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದೆಮ್. ಬಟ್ UPSC ಬಂದಾಗ ಲಿಸನ್ ಟು ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್, ಬೈ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಬಿಗ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅಂತಂದು ಒಂದು ಚಾನಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ಹರ್ಡ್ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಡೆಮಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸಬಿಸ್? ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಡೆಮಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸಬಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾರಾದರೂ? ಎವ್ರಿವೇರ್ ಐ ಗೋ ಐ ಕೀಪ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಹಿಮ್. If you want to, he's the Nobel laureate. He won Nobel Prize in 24 for physics. So Google, the deep mind anta ide, the company which created all Google's, Gemini and everything, AlphaFold anta, he is the creator. So listen to talks by the best in the industry. Technology ಅಂದರೆ ಇವರು, ಆಯಿತಾ, ಸ್ಪೇಸು ಅದು ಜನರಲ್. ಇವನ್ ಎಲಾನ್ ಮಸ್ಕ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕೀಪ್ಸ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್. ಹಾಗೆ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಮೈಕಲ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್. ಆ ಥರದನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರಿ. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ವೈಸ್ ಆರ್ ಥ್ರೈಸ್ ಎ ವೀಕ್ ಲಿಸನ್ ಟು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅದೇ ಗುಂಗಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ. ರೈಟ್, PGನಲ್ಲಿ ಊಟ ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಚಂದ್ರ ಲೇಔಟಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಇದೆ, ಇದು ಇದೆ, ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಬಟ್ ನೀವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರೋ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಬಿಗ್ಗರ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಟು ಅಚೀವ್ ಎ ಬಿಗ್ಗರ್ ಗೋಲ್. ಸೊ ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅದೇ ಥಾಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿದ್ದರೆ ಆನ್ಸರಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಸ್ಸೆನಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಕಮ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಎ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್. ರೈಟ್, ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಏನೂ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ಗುಂಗಲ್ಲಿರ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದನೇ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಿಬೋದು. ಒಳ್ಳೊಳ್ಳೆ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್, ಒಳ್ಳೊಳ್ಳೆ ಐಡಿಯಾಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ all of them collectively will ensure that whatever thing we discussed, right, will help you crack this examination as well as crack the code of life also. Right, ನೀವು ನಾಳೆ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲೂ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಿ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹಾಬೀಸು, ಬುಕ್ಸು, ಪೇಪರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿಗೆಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಲೈಫಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಓದಿದರೆ IAS ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ಸ್. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಅದೇನು ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಟ್ರ್ಯೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ದಿನವೇ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಓದೋದು ಬಂದು ಫೇಲ್ ಆದರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎತ್ಕೊಂತಾರೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಪಾಸ್ ಆದ್ರಂತೂ ಮುಗೀತದು, ದ ಹಿಂದೂ ಅದು ಹೆಸರೇ ಮರ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅವರಿಗೆ. ಸಾಕಪ್ಪ ಅದ್ರ ಸಾವಾಸ ಅಂತಂದು ಆ ಪೇಪರ್ನೇ ಓದೋದು ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು IAS ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ದರೂ ವೇಸ್ಟೇ ಅವರು. ಇವನ್ ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಸರ್ವೆಂಟ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್. ದೇ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೋ ದೇರ್, ದೇ ವೋಂಟ್ ಬಿ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈಡ್. ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಹೋದಾಗ ಲರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಥ್ರೂಔಟ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್. ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಅ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಸರ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ರೀಚ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಸ್, ಹೈಯರ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ಸ್. ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್, ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್, ಬಾಟ್ನಿ, ಝುವಾಲಜಿ, ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್, ಲಾ, ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ, ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್. ನಾನೇನೋ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ RV ಕಾಲೇಜು, ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೊತೀನಿ. BMC ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೊತೀನಿ. ನೋ, ಈ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ನ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡನ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಜುಯೇಷನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ರೆಪ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಹಂಗೇನಾರು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ತೊಗೊಳ್ರಿ. ಲಂಡನ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸಿಂದ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡನ್ ಸಮ್ ಡಿಗ್ರೀಸ್, ಯಾವ್ದಾರು ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ರೈಸ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾವ್ದಾರು ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಪ್ಪಿತಪ್ಪಿ ಈ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ನ ತಗೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ನಾವು ದ ಟ್ರೆಂಡಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್, ಸೋಷಿಯಾಲಜಿ, ಆಂಥ್ರೋಪಾಲಜಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್. ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಸೇಫ್ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಟು ಸಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ. ಬೇರೆದು ತಪ್ಪಲ್ಲ, ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿ, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್, ಬಟ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹೈ. ನೀವು JNU ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಿಂದ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್, ದೆನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್. ಆರ್ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಹೋಗಿ. ಬಟ್ BAನಲ್ಲಿತ್ತು, ನನಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದಟ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್. ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸು, ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸು, ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ 4 to 5 to 6 hours ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಝೀರೋ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ 1750 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್, 1250 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ GS ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮು ಇದಕ್ಕೇನಾರು ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, 250 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸು ಲೈಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಥ್ರೋ, ಸೋಷಿಯಾಲಜಿ, ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ, ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್, ವಿತ್ ಗುಡ್ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ದೇರ್. ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಅಂಥದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಳಕೋಬೇಡಿ. ಏನೋ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ ಓದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ತೊಗೊತೀನಿ ಅಂತ, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ ದಟ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್. ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ತೊಗೊತೀನಿ, ನೋ. ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಕೇಳಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಫಾರ್ ಯು ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದವರಿಗೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಗೋಲ್ಡನ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ಯು. ಲರ್ನ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮೂಲಕ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ UPSC ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ, ವಿತೌಟ್ ಡೈವರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಟು ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್, ರೈಟ್. ಲರ್ನ್ ಥರೋಲಿ ಆಲ್ ದಿ UPSC ಸ್ಟಫ್, ಬಟ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಟು ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಅದರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್. ಯು ನೋ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್. Don't get distracted. If you are writing 5 answer every day, write 5 answer. Even if you apply to KPSC, even if KPSC Prelims is there. You are getting my point. KPSC apply ಮಾಡಿ ಹೊಸ notification. You apply every government examination that is going to be called. Apply to every examination. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೈ ಬೀಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಬರೆದು ಬನ್ನಿ. Just walk in and write and come back. Come back and continue your UPSC preparation. Right? Don't make the mistake. Illa the AO exam is there, PDO exam is there, PSI, KS. Now I will go for a small picnic and prepare there. You go for picnic there, you are stuck there, right? When you come back again, you are back to zero. Keep UPSC will holistically ensure that any examination in India you have a fair chance other than UPSC to crack, right? So hangagi the target should be UPSC. Clearly remember this. Ishtondella ಹೇಳಿದ ಮೇಲೂ there are some insecure people. They want some job. They think that preparing for KPSC alone will help me. No. Everybody who is getting ranks in KS are UPSC aspirants, and not just aspirants, those who written mains or given interview in UPSC. 10 years they're all waiting for new notifications. People who have given interviews, multiple mains, right? Karnataka ತುಂಬಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ. Everyone will apply to KPSC and they will grab all the ranks. ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಕಾಂಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು UPSC ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್. ಇಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಈಸ್ ತಹಶೀಲ್ದಾರ್, ಅದು ಆಯಿತು ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಇವನ್ PSIಗೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ UPSC ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. essay topics, not very easy essay topic. The expectations are very high. So that is why UPSC preparation should be your sole aim should never be diluted. ಅದನ್ನು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗಿ. And we are here to guide you all the time. And I can tell you with all the pride and humility, this is one of the best institutions in India, right? Even ChatGPT, Gemini, ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ತಿರ್ತೀನಿ ಕ್ಯೂರಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ, ಟಾಪ್ 5 ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್ IAS ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮದು 3ನಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನಿಪುಲೇಟ್ ChatGPT ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ Gemini, ರೈಟ್? ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಗೂಗಲಿಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಡೋದು, ಆ್ಯಡ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ChatGPT ಯಾರಿಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ನಾವು? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಕಾನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್, ದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಕಾನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್, ರಿವ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬಲ್ಲಿ, ರೆಡ್ಡಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಅಟ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಅಫೋರ್ಡಬಲ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್, ಅರೌಂಡ್ 1 lakh, we have integrated everything excluding optional, prelims, mains, CSAT, everything is integrated with individual mentorship. Some people ask the question, ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದು. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಯಾರಿಗಾರ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ವ ಇವತ್ತು? ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದಿ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಎವಿಟೇಬಲ್. ತುಂಬ ಆಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕೆಟರ್ ಟು ಈಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಮೆಂಟೋರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆನ್ ಎ ಡೈಲಿ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯುವೇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್. ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಡೌಟ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಡೌಟ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್, we will answer each and everyone's doubt, right? Any concern, we will answer everything. So here mostly everyone is told the same thing in the class, same concept, everything. Outside the class, how you work hard, the quality of sources, and how you take the guidance will differentiate you from the crowd. So that is the most important part. What you do outside the class and how frequently you take feedback is extremely important. So if you are consistent with respect to these things, 100% you are in the best institution in India, and you are going to convert this entire process into a very good rank. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can ask. Wish you all the best. Thank you. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಎಸ್, ಸಿಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ. You will not get anyone, change your optional. No, I mean if you want to crack this examination, you need to change your optional. That doesn't matter. You may be Ramanujan, right? Listen to my wise words. You will thank me later, because let us say that you meet a topper or somebody, outside in your reading room, any aspirant, those who are preparing for like 2, 3, 4 years. How many people they would have met and interacted? How many UPSC aspirants on an average? How many you have met? How many UPSC? How many? Okay, 20, 30, 40, 50. How many they would have met? The one who has written mains or given interview? We have met lakhs of people, hundreds of thousands of toppers. We have created thousands of toppers. Every permutation combination we know, right? If we are saying that don't go with maths optional, that is ultimately for your own good. So now we are working and you want to have maths optional, and maths optional scoring 300 has become impossible. They are not giving 300 plus like Kanish Kataria got. That is not happening now. So if you are going with maths optional, most of your time is going with the maths optional. That doesn't tell. Maths you have to practice every day. It is not like sociology or Kannada literature, coaching you have notes. Every day you need to practice for 4 to 5 hours if you want to score 200 plus in maths optional. Doesn't matter. You are competing with people who have done integrated mathematics 5-year courses from best of the IITs, right? And the range, if they are scoring 400 plus out of 500, if your marks is not up to that level, because of the scaling, your marks will go to bottom. one between 150 to 200, right? So it keeps happening to physics, maths, and mechanical, electrical, and civil engineering people every year. If you already like instinctively, if you can solve a problem looking at the maths, then it's fine. And if you're already extremely good with GS papers, right, you can write answer, you can write essay, all your GS papers are very good, then go with maths optional, take a risk, right? If these things are weak, and if you are giving more time to maths optional, then it's very difficult. Anyone with maths optional here? Those who are considering, he wants to have a friend, or you are alone? No guidance, nothing. Figure it out by yourself. Spend another I said feedback is the quick way to achieve success. One more factor that helps you achieve success fast is that the decision making should be delegated to someone, right? You figuring out what to do, how to do everything every time, right, consumes lots of mental energy. So that's why. Any other doubts? Just try it. Read paper. No, we are asking based on the newspaper only. Read newspaper, understand the news as much as you can. You don't have to write. That is remove the thing that you want to write perfect answer. Everyone remove from your head that you want to write good answer, perfect answer. No need to write good answer, perfect. I told worst, even for 1 month also. Whatever you read, whatever you can just gain, it can be only 10%, 5%, or whatever you can understand. Show it. If you start now, as I said, after 6 months, you will be somewhere else. Right? So just start. Anybody who has excuses, again, you are not going to become toppers. ಬರ್ದಿಡ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ ಇದನ್ನು. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಯೂಸ್ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಫ್ರೆಶರು, ನಂಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸಿ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಡನ್. ಈ MLA ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಚಾರ ಆಯ್ತು. MLA ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು? ಲೆಜಿಸ್ಲೇಟರ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ, MLA ಲೆಜಿಸ್ಲೇಟರ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು? ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ನಿಂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಬಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ನಿಂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಂಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಇದು ಹಂಗೆ, ಇದು ಡೈಲಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗು, ಇದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು. ನೀವು ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ MLA ಆಗೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಹೋಗಲಿ ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಭಾಷಣ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? ಬಿಡ್ತಾರ? ಯಾರು ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್? ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಹಂಗೆ ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಡು, ಇದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ರೈಟ್? ಇದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ರೇಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಆನ್ ಎ ಡೈಲಿ ಬೇಸಿಸ್. ಹೆದರ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ. ಐ ನೋ ಯುವರ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಈಸ್ ವೀಕ್, ಯುವರ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ವೀಕ್, ಕಾಂಪ್ರಿಹೆನ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ವೀಕ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ವೀಕ್ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ವೀಕ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೀರಿ. ಯಾರಿಗೂ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ್ ಮೆಂಟರ್ಸ್, ಅವರ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ವುಡ್ ನೆವರ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ ಯು ಪ್ರೀಮೆಚೂರ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್? ವಿ ನೆವರ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮಿಲಿಯೇಟ್ ಯು, ಇನ್ಸಲ್ಟ್ ಯು. ವಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ ಯು. ವಿ ನೋ that is how it starts. It has been our observation. So just do it. Just do it. ಮೊದಲ ಹಿಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ? ನೈಕಿ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್? ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೋಬೇಕಂತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡೌಟ್? ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ನೀಟ್ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗಿರೋರು. ನೋ ಅದರ್ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್? ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ. ಗುಡ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್. ಏನು ಹೆಸರು? ಬಿಂದುಶ್ರೀ. ಸೊ ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್, ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಓದ್ತಾ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ನನ್ನ ಸಿನ್ಸಿಯರ್ ಸಜೆಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ಬೋದು, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಈ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಓದಿ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು, ಕ್ವಿಝ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ 4 to 5 hours ಹಿಡಿತದೆ ಅಂತ, ರೈಟ್? ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ 4 to 5 hours ಹಿಡಿತದೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ but that is the most valuable part of your preparation, right? That is also must ಅದು ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ 4 to 5 hours ಹಿಡಿತದೆ, ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಟು 2.5 hours ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಟು 2.5 hours. ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಯು ಮೇ ಹಿಯರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಡಿಕ್ಟರಿ ಟು ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್. ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ಬರು ಮೆಂಟರ್ಸು ಅವ್ರು ಇವ್ರು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಫಾಲೋ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಯು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಂಟರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಮೆಂಟರ್ ನಾನು, ರೈಟ್? ಟೀಚರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಟೀಚರ್ ನಾವು ಈ ಫೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು, ರೈಟ್? ಈ ಫೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಪಯನಿಯರ್, ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿ ಏಜ್ 31. ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೀಚರ್ಸು ಮೆಂಟರ್ ಯಾರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದೋಗೋರೆಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಫೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು. ಅವ್ರು ನಮಗಿಂತ ಭಾಳ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಟೀಚರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಿಲಿಯಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ನಾನಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಟು ಡೂ, ಹೌ ಟು ಡೂ ಅನ್ನೋದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿ. ಆ ಥರ ಏನೋ ಡೌಟ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡೇಟ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೇನು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ನಾವು ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಸರಿ ಇತ್ತು ಅನಿಸಿದರೆ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮೈ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಓಕೆ ಇಟ್ ಲುಕ್ಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಅಂತ. ನೋ ಮೋರ್ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್? ಓಕೆ, ಬಂತ ಜೋಶು? ಆರ್ ಯು ಆಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್? ಆರ್ ಯು ಆಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಕಮಿಂಗ್ IAS IPS ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್? ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಎನಿವನ್ ಹೂ ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಬಿಕಮ್ ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮ್ಯಾಟ್, IFS? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಗುಡ್. IPS? ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. IPS ಸುಮಾರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ತಹಶೀಲ್ದಾರ್? IAS ಅಂತ ತಹಶೀಲ್ದಾರ್ ಹತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ನು ಉಳಿದಲ್ಲ IAS ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, 100% ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಕಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್. ಒಬ್ಬರು ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ಮು, ಹ್ಯುಮ್ಯಾನಿಟೀಸು, ನಾಟ್ ಸೊ ಗುಡ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್. ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಬಿ ಅವೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದೇ ಸರಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಒಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ 2 ವರ್ಷ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, 1 ವರ್ಷ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ. ವೈ ಸಮ್ಮನ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ವಿಕ್, ವೈ ಸಮ್ಮನ್ ಈಸ್ ಟಾಪಿಂಗ್. ಟೇಕ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಅದನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆ ಆ್ಯಂಗ್ಸೈಟಿ, ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ವೀಕ್ನೆಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ನಾನು ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಂಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ತಾನೆ. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಲೂಪ್ ಹೋಲ್ನ ಬ್ರಿಡ್ಜ್ ಪ್ಲಗ್ ಇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗಿ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಎ ಟೈಮ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಯು. ಇವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ಲಗ್ ಇನ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಲೂಪ್ ಹೋಲ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್, ಸ್ಲೋಲಿ, ಸ್ಟಡಿಲಿ. So after a while, it can be 1 year later, 6 months later, 2 years later, you will be in top 1%. You are almost equal everyone. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೇಮ್ ಏನಂತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ 10-20 marks ಅಲ್ಲಿ, right? So for every 1 mark, there are 15 toppers in the list. In the list, the final list, for every 1 mark, there are 15 toppers. So now the game who scores slightly higher in interview, slightly higher in essay, slightly higher in optional. So it comes to that level. Once you have crossed the threshold of prelims, you are one among 13 to 14,000 in India, in the entire country, almost on same level. But if you have started from now, writing and everything, within the 14%, you are in the top 5%, right? Within the 14%, you are like top 5%. And then how you handle interview? Top 2%, like top 2,000 will be there. And then in the top 1,000, your rank will be there. So till you cross that threshold of prelims, right, you need to do so many things. So with lots of patience and clarity of thought, confidence, you do it continuously. You do it. The word see is very beautiful. You remember the word see. You need to have confidence, right? You need to have calmness. You need to have clarity. You need to be constantly curious, right? And there are so many things, you can think of. See, there are so many words that apply to everyone's life. But curiosity, clarity, calmness, and confidence, these are. And then another word, consistency. You said consistency. 5 C's. If you can practice them, you will be successful. So wish you all the best. Thank you. So as part of tradition, you chocolate ತಂದರ ಇಲ್ಲ ತಂದಿರಾ? ಚಾಕ್ಲೇಟ್ಸ್ ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಚಾಕ್ಲೇಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನ್, ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಅ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಗೆಸ್ಚರ್ ದಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿ ಅಂತಂದು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ನಿಮಗೂ ಬೇಕಾ ಸರ್? ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸಿಗೂ ಕೊಡಪ್ಪ.